Holy shit! Guys, hype train, let's go. I'm like genuinely shocked. I didn't think we would get a hype train. Thank you guys for the hype train. I didn't think I'd get a sub today. Well, thanks guys. Holy moly. This is so cool. Thank you. That what the fuck? I wasn't prepared. Thank you guys so much for the subs and this stuff. Man, that's so cool. Well, hi. Where did chat go, by the way? Oh, chat just decided to disappear. Cool. Yeah, I'm genuinely shocked. That's a thank you to Hissing Cats. Thank you for 5 months. Moth, thank you for 4 months. And Cherryberg, thank you for 2 months. And Glunkus, thank you for 2 months. This is so cool. I'm so blown away. Thank you guys so much. Well, hi. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. Today we're gonna be talking about worm and junk. You sub for 3 months in advance? Really? Whoa! That's so sick. I didn't even know. I forgot you could do that, honestly. Well, welcome to the stream. We're gonna be talking about Worm Arc 3 today. And oh my god, I have a hype train. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. Oh, fucking, let's go. Hype train, let's go. Also, while I was gone, thank you to...
And if you see Dr. Breen, tell him I said, fuck you!
I forgot that was so loud. What the fuck? What the fuck? Cherry? Thank you for the gift sub to Sheba. Oh my god, thank you so much. What the dude? Thank you. Thank you to ms_dunks for following. That was from a day ago. I hit the replay button on accident because I was trying to scroll. And thank you 3 hours ago for Odd Job Oddity for following. Thank you. Oh my jeez. Oh my jeez. Oh my jeez. This is so cool. Okay, well thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. This is stream. I have to like get myself together. I'm all lost now. You guys all flop me up. Oh my geez, what am I, some kind of grandma? Dude, listen. I spent all of last night studying Arc 3 just to talk about it with you guys. And I have to say, I like Arc 3 more than I thought I did. I really enjoy that one, but I totally forgot how much I like it. It's really good. Anyway, hi. I'm trying to get my shit together. Oh, thank you everyone for the support. As you may know, this is going to be... You mildly flooded the Worm Wednesday chat. Yeah, that's fine. Here's the thing. I spoke about this before, but this is going to be my last stream for the next week. I'm not going to be streaming this weekend. I might, but I might not. It all depends on how I get moved into my dorm. Hi, Nintendo. Well, yeah, it's worm time. And at the moment, streams are going to be a little sporadic, but that's fine. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm blown away we got a hype train, guys. Thank you so much. Level 2 hype train. Wow. That's so cool. Oh, I got one too. Yeah, sure. Thank you, guys. Let's go. It's a dog. You get a free dog. Come on. Well, hi. I'm trying to get my brain back together because I didn't expect all of this. Hi, guys. Welcome. If you were to hear at the beginning of the stream, we're gonna be talking about Worm Arc 3 today, which is also in the title. Do exclamation point worm if you don't know what the fuck worm is. Because, man, it makes sense if you don't know anything about Worm. There was a song I wanted to play, but I don't think it's DMCA free. But I'm gonna play it very softly anyway, cause this song has been like stuck in my head. It's really good, so I'll play it. Worm. Worm. It's a really low quality 192000 from Gorillaz. It's just the instrumental, but really low quality. And for some reason, it, like, me and Cody, Gay Band-Aids, we love this track. It's so, everyone, it's so good. It's like so low quality. This is art, really. Like, if it takes a while to get this, like, really, you know. Sorry, I'm drinking a ginger ale right now. Okay. Ginger ale okay? Are you kidding me? It's amazing! Anyway, let's turn off this DMCA type shit. I'm gonna get fucking blown away. Wow. Alright. Jazz music it is. Jeez Louise. Copyright-free jazz music. My favorite. My beloved. So, hi. Let me get this off the screen, because we're not in the stream anymore. Welcome! Welcome to Worm. Woo! This is Arc 3. Now, this is only Arc 3 out of 30. So, overall, going pretty well. I have a lot to say about this arc. So what I did, I've done this new, so this might be a little bit whack. This is all new to me, okay? I've never done this before either. A 10th of the way there? Hey, listen, we all start somewhere. I wrote an entire 2 pages on a Word document, about stuff I want to talk about. So if that doesn't scream to how much I like this arc, then, well, you know. This is amazing. This arc is really, really good, and it took me a while to realize it. Worm is over 2 million words? That's not true. It's 1.68 million words. However, the sequel has double the amount, and I haven't read the sequel yet, so I cannot attest to that. Only 27 more Worm Wednesdays? We're gonna get all the way into fucking May with this shit. I swear to God. You know how many Wednesdays are in a year? 52 or something. I don't know how many. Is it 52? I forget. Wow. You feel like you need to start writing down the people in this because you keep forgetting them right away? Okay. Do you want to do a quick character rundown of all the characters we know so far? Because I can totally do that. Like, you know. I don't want you guys to come in here blind and be like, wait, who is this again? Wait, what? What's the thing? Like, I don't mind. I can give you guys a rundown. If you want it, is the thing. One of the few stories you haven't struggled with names on? Yeah, because all the characters are well-defined, and they all have their own things. It's very good. This is a testament. This arc is an entire testament to how the writing is going to be for the rest of the story. So if you enjoyed this arc, this is kind of how it is for the rest. With a few alterations on some things. But, if it engaged you enough to keep reading, then that's absolutely what it is and what it'll do. It stressed you out to read? It's very fast-paced? Yes. Yes. See, that's the thing about Worm, which is hard to recommend. It is... Worm... there's a lot of jokes in the community about it, like, escalation, and how quickly everything goes to, like, ape shit. And this is... Yeah. This story escalates very, very, very quickly, so I don't blame you for saying that. Worm is the most stressful thing I've ever read. I will admit. But the stress made me want to keep reading, so I was like, oh, this is so good. Oh. All people showing up at once? Yes. That's the good shit, though, because you're put in the same position as Taylor in that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, okay? We'll get to that. I'll give you guys the breakdown on all the new ones, too. Okay? Let's start, I think. I think we should just jump into it and just start, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. Where should we start? Do you guys have anything you want to talk about first? What, anything in this arc that you thought was insane or bananas? Or your favorite parts? Your favorite characters, actually. I want to know who your favorite characters are. Because, man, I want to know. Aegis of Power is horrific. Oh, Glory Hole is a girl boss. Ah, good one. I'm laughing. You like Aegis a lot? You think Lisa? Hey, those are all good ones. All good ones. This made you like Tattletale more? Yeah. Aegis is super scary. Character-wise, Rachel. Oh, Rachel, my beloved. Oh. Most of the Undersiders are great. You want to see what happens with Panacea? Oh, you'll see that pan out. Get it? Get it? You know. Also, that is pronounced Panacea. You know. I like a massive gamer. Yeah, that's the fun thing. Okay, let's jump into this and get down to the breakdown of all this stuff. A lot of good things to talk about because the characterization in this is actually bananas, and most of the stuff they touch on is like really, really good. Is the music good, by the way? Is the music too loud? Is it fine? Is it good? Is it fine? In comparison to my talking voice, is it normal? It's perfect? Well, let's go. Alright. So, this arc, I think, before we even get into the first chapter, I want to say this one sort of reminds me... like, this entire arc kind of touches on that, like, Taylor is seeing what she wants to see, I think. And she's ignoring what she wants to ignore. Overall, in what she's doing. And we talked about this in Arc 2 and Arc 1, where she's sort of throwing herself into these, like, situations. And it's sort of stupid that she keeps doing this. But I think that makes her a very compelling character, that she's this stupid. She's only, like, 15, dude. You know? Like, it's like, yeah, you're stupid. But the entire thing is the story is coded that, like, you sort of have this narrator thing going on. Like, almost like an unreliable narrator type situation, but it's not. Because you're seeing every single character and every single person through Taylor's lens. Like, for instance, the way that she describes characters, like Rachel. She describes, Rachel's, like, butch for some reason, which is fucked up. Like, why would you say that anyway? But, you know, it's, like, we're seeing characters through her eyes, so we immediately get her, like, interpretation. So things aren't... She's seeing things how she wants to see, and it's just breaking down every situation logically. Like, she's looking at it completely objectively. Which I think, personally, is kind of stupid. Taylor, what are you doing? It's so easy to jump the gun and be like, oh, that's just the author being stupid and not knowing how to write characters. No, it's like, oh, whoa. We're gonna jump into the actual arc now. I keep like jumping around. Okay, we're gonna jump into it. So, arc opens up. We sort of jump into like a weird time space where we don't know how much time has passed, which I think is actually kind of interesting. Because at first you're just like, okay, Taylor's just going through her routine, and Taylor's routine is she runs every morning. She has like a sort of training regimen. After she got chased by some bullies, she was like, oh damn, I can't run fast. I'm gonna now run every morning. So that's what she does every morning. She runs every single morning. Which, damn, Taylor, you sure do know how to take care of yourself. Am I right? So she's pretty fit altogether. I think she described herself as like an upright frog, which, man, that imagery is really good, Taylor. An upright frog. That's such a like a good. I don't know. That was like something that stuck with me whenever I was reading this. I was like, oh yeah, that's a really funny way to describe how you look. Anyway, after that, we get some little tidbits about, you know, what the setting is like. But first, Taylor meets awesome, cool Brian. You guys know Brian, awesome guy. Brian, so cool. She has some weird comments about his clothes that like this entire like conversation, she's so awkward Like she's so awkward. She's like, hey, she's like so conscious about how she's presenting herself to Brian, which might be like, I don't know if you want to consider that a crush thing or if she's just insanely awkward around friends because she hasn't had any for like such a long time. But goddamn, jeez Louise. So Brian gets breakfast for everyone. It's kind of cool. You don't like Brian? Well, you'll get used to it. So Taylor has like a donut with Brian. Pretty cool. And we learn that Taylor can control crabs. Like, as like a tidbit, Taylor just casually controls a crab. And not only that, but she specifies that she can control anything with a simple brain. Not just bugs, anything with very simple brains, quote unquote. So that's you know, Taylor, you can control pretty much anything that isn't a fucking rat, dude. You can't control rats because they do not have simple brains. But you can control anything that isn't a rat, like lesser than a rat. Do you know how many fucking things that is, Taylor? You could swarm people with giant coconut crabs and just go off. Do you understand, Taylor? Tarantula hawks coming out this bitch. It's bananas. It's bananas. Taylor is not, you know, sea creature control. That sounds interesting. Anyway, so it turns out Taylor's very sad, and she's bummed out because she can't go to the loft. She can't go to the Undersiders hangout, because she has to go to school. So she's like, well, god damn it, I gotta go to school. And we find out all the other Undersiders' current school reservations. Alec has dropped out entirely. Rachel never went at all. Lisa got her GED, of course, and she cheated with her fucking power. And Brian is still taking school online. So we get a bit of like little backstories to like what their school life is and what they're doing. Taylor, however, is still going to school in person, and she's worried. And Taylor, as she's on the bus going to school, kind of talks about how she kind of goes through her day, because she goes to her favorite class, computer class, and there's none of her bullies are in there. So she goes there, and she's like, as long as I can make it there, I'm fine, because I can look forward to the rest of the day. And now she talks about looking forward to meeting up with the Undersiders and being like, oh yeah, I want to meet up with these cool people. I can look forward to that every day. And so, they just meet up with some criminals, Taylor. Go ahead. I'm being too harsh, okay? I'm being too harsh. So she gets to school, she gets like bullied for half a second, and she goes, you know what? Fuck this, I'm fucking leaving. So Taylor goes like, you know, she just leaves school. She's like, fuck this. Another thing that Taylor touches on for a moment is that the boardwalk in Brockton Bay is like the #1 tourism place. What? Was online school as a big thing in 2000? I don't know. I don't know. So what was I saying? Sorry, that comments threw me off right there. Oh yeah, the boardwalk. The boardwalk is the #1 tourism spot in Brockton Bay, and by tourism, everything is overpriced and it's just a bunch of bullshit there. So if the boardwalk ever got fucked up, then like Brockton Bay would be out of shit because their shipping and exporting it's just gone. They don't have anything. So that's what the government cares about. Therefore, they have enforcers on the boardwalk, which are like police, but only for the boardwalk. So they will just like snatch people off the street and beat them up if you're being sus. So that's good. That sounds like a not dangerous thing at all. Basically, the boardwalk is off limits if you're a criminal. And Taylor looks like a criminal right now, running away from school. You're supposed to be at school, Taylor. What are you doing? So Taylor goes and hangs out with the Undersiders because she's like, fuck school. And she's chilling. When she gets there, Alec and Brian are sparring, and she's like, okay, cool. Can you teach me how to fight, though? And so Taylor gets like a little bit of pointers on how to like punch and how to like stance herself. And Taylor makes a comment here that I thought was really, really, really funny because it was ridiculous. Taylor here, this is verbatim. I saw him as a nice guy if I ignored his career choice. Yeah, Taylor? Yeah? You really think so, Taylor? You really think so? You really think you would see him as a nice guy if he wasn't a fucking supervillain just hanging out here? God damn. So, a little bit more conversation pops up, and Taylor pops the bubble of, like, who's giving us the jobs? Who's controlling the who's, like, the boss of the Undersiders? And Brian and Alec are like, we have no idea, actually. Turns out, they don't know who is running the Undersiders. It's an anonymous sponsor, and only Lisa knows, because Lisa put together the Undersiders and swore not to tell him who the fuck is giving them jobs. So, Taylor gets that bomb dropped on her and is like, oh shit, so there is a secret boss that I don't know about. So it's not just these guys, there's someone behind the scenes. Well, I wonder what kind of jobs we do. And then Lisa kicks down the door and is like, we're gonna rob a bank. We're gonna rob a bank. Oh, Taylor, do you not see the situation you're now in? You're now in, Taylor? Taylor, you're being asked to rob a motherfucking bank. I need to repeat this. A motherfucking bank. A motherfucking bank. Taylor. And not just any bank, Taylor. Lisa goes on to explain, this is the biggest bank in Brockton Bay, Taylor. This is the biggest bank in the city, Taylor. The biggest bank in the city. So immediately Taylor's like, no. Brian is also like, no. And everyone else is like, yeah. So that's a 3-2. And Lisa is now like, all right, I'm gonna convince you motherfuckers, because she's super smart. And she's like, this has to go down at a particular time for a particular reason that I don't know about. But we get a lot of cred if we rob a bank. So, you know, that's great. And so Brian is like, all right, fine, we'll do it. Out of spite. And now Taylor, everyone's looking at Taylor, and now Taylor's like, well, what's the plan? I'm not gonna make a decision right now, but I want to know, like, what's happening. So Taylor's already fucking convinced at this point, but she's out of it. She's out of it. So Taylor is now going to rob a fucking bank. Great job, Taylor. Great job, Taylor. You're amazing. So the reason why they're hitting this bank at a particular time is because the boss wants something else done, but at that same time, the bank is going to be 100% free, because all the little kids, all the little baby superheroes are going to be at school, and they're not going to be able to, and all the grown-up superheroes are out of town. So that's pretty good. So, you know, they're only gonna go up like to against like a couple superheroes, like a couple. So it's fine, guys. We're gonna rob the bank. We're only gonna go up like to a couple kids. It's fine, guys. Please, just a couple of kids, guys. It's not a couple kids. Spoiler alert. It's not a couple kids. It's not. It really isn't. Because Lisa just swindled you. God damn. So, so we get a little breakdown on who all the people are in the baby superheroes. These are the kids that are under 18 and have superpowers. So that sounds, you know, like the Undersiders. Great job. So we learn a little bit about these awesome children that are strong. We learn about the strongest ones first. There's 3 super strong ones. And this team is bigger than Undersiders. So Undersiders is 5 people? 5. Wait, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. The Brockton Bay Wards, though, have 7. So they're already out of their depth, because they're way more powerful. So if all of them show up, they're fucked. But if like 3 of them show up, they're fine. So we learn a little bit more about them. We learn about the 3 most powerful ones first, because those are the ones that are going to show up like nearly 100%. The first one they bring up is Aegis, who is referred to as an Alexandria package, which we'll get into that later. There's a bunch of little things they throw out that it's just like shit that we don't even know about. They use different terms at this point. His deal is that his biology is insane, so he's not invincible per se, but he's just forever functioning as like a being. If you cut off his head, he's gonna be fine. If you take out his heart, he has like 3 more in his thighs. Like, this dude is just insane. So, can't really die. Is pretty powerful guy. Can fly around and stuff. Cool. The other powerful one is Clock Blocker. Now, I'm sure that when all of you came across this name in the text, you were thrown for a motherfucking loop, because out of all the names in this goddamn story, one of them is almost synonymous with cock. Yeah, no, yeah. It's not necessarily that he's super strong. He just kind of ignore the body's limitations. Yeah, he just forever functions. He just functions forever. Also, if you mention another fucking arc, I'm gonna get you. So, Clock Blocker is awesome. Basically, is awesome. His entire deal, it doesn't sound powerful, but it is super powerful because he can stop time for any object that he's touching between 30 seconds and 10 minutes. Between 30 seconds and 10 minutes, he can freeze an object, and that object is indestructible. It is 100% indestructible and cannot be broken or stopped in any way. So if you get touched, you are fucked. You are fucked. You are fucked. So don't get touched by this guy, basically. Clock Blocker is a great name for that. Because goddamn. I'm not going to say Cock Blocker. Oh, no. Fuck you. The third most powerful one, which, you know, last but not least, because this one I would say is the most powerful. Vista is really cool and really powerful because she can contort space. And by contort space, I mean can literally change the fundamentals of buildings and like the distance between things. Pretty much it's so powerful. It's so powerful. But the only downside is that she can't move people. And this is because of something called, quote-unquote, the Manton effect. It's explained like this soon after. Some people can't use powers on living things. So some powers, you know, like, I don't know. Give me a good example. I don't got no good example. Help. What was I talking about? Shit. Bitch, for instance, can use her power. Her power is made to be used on living things like dogs, right? So, whenever someone else is using a power... I'm explaining this really badly. Basically, some people just can't use powers on living things like humans and like wood and plants and shit. So, you know. But the exceptions to that rule are really strong. There's an instance where Lisa's explaining this and is like, oh, well, like, this is the reason. The Manson effect is why people can't just, you know, put a force field inside of you and split you in half. And then Alec butts in and is like, oh, yeah, but this superhero can. And it's like, huh? What? Oh, shit. So some people can bypass that effect. Yeah, narwhal, there you go. So some people can bypass that effect. And if they can, they are literally game-breaking. I don't know how else to describe that except for overpowered. So that's great. So that's Vista's only downside. Jesus Christ. So those are the 3 most powerful ones. You got Aegis, Clock Blocker, and Vista. Those are the 3 most powerful ones. You don't want to interact with those. Those are the hardest ones to take down. Now, the other ones are not quote-unquote lesser, but they're kind of easier to take down in a direct fight. First one, you got Kid Win. He's just a tinker, as he's described, and he has laser guns and a flying skateboard. Okay, dude, cool. You're good with machines. Awesome. They bring up Triumph, a guy named Triumph for a second, but he already graduated to the Protectorate, which is like the big boys up there, not the little kids. So he's not gonna be there, basically. He's not a risk assessment at all. And then you got another one named Gallant, who is dressed like a knight. Great job. Great name for your shitty fucking outfit. However, Tattletale has a high brain, very smart, and is like, well, not actually a tinker like the media says. He can shoot emotional laser beams. So that's certainly something that you can do. That's certainly a power, all right. Emotional laser beams, huh? Man, that's great. So, just shoot fear into someone. You remember how that shakes out? Yeah. So that's that power. And then you got a last one, Shadow Stalker. Shadow Stalker? Wow. As it turns out, as they're explaining this, everyone in the Undersiders, barring Taylor because she doesn't know, fucking hates Shadow Stalker. Because Shadow Stalker, unlike everyone else, used to be a vigilante. And she maimed a bunch of people and nearly killed one, if I'm remembering correctly. So they brought her in as a hero, because she sucked so bad. Because she was so super mean. So now, she's in the wards, and she can turn into Shadow. That's cool. And she has a fucking crossbow with tranquilizer darts. However, a cool thing that is mentioned is that her power doesn't work in Gru's darkness. So some powers, as we can see here, don't work in each other or either negate the other one. So that's pretty cool. Another thing is that whenever they see Shadow Stalker out in the wild, she doesn't have tranquilizer darts and uses real ones that can stab people. So that's great. In fact, she stabbed Gru, so that's great. God damn, Shadow Stalker, you're fucked up. Anyway, they talk about all these cool things, these cool people, and then they're like, all right, now we're gonna simply rob a bank. so now they're gonna rob a bank. Here's how that plays out. Oh god. So before we get to the bank, they prepare pretty much. Taylor hangs out with everyone, and Taylor also gets some weapons to use. She gets a knife for utility. It's as strong as a crowbar. She can use it as a crowbar if she needs to. It's like a 6-inch knife. It's pretty cool. And she has a telescopic baton, which is kind of sick because she can just flick it out and then hits people, which is pretty cool. Do not mention clout. I know the verbiage that is used. It's fine. So basically, Taylor just spends this time hanging out with her friends, her new evil friends, and there is a passing line that sort of, it was just mentioned like a little bit earlier. There's a passing comment that's just mentioned, which kind of accepts like how power people have just changed the entire perception of this world. There's a direct mention of Earth Aleph, which is, quote unquote, this is verbatim, the alternate Earth that our Earth had been communicating with since Professor Haywire tore a hole between realities. So you can get media from another Earth that is adjacent to yours. So it's very casual, which is that's just how it is. Also, I like, you would think it would be like Earth Alpha, but they're actually using the Hebrew alphabet, which is pretty interesting. I think that's actually pretty interesting. Because if that Earth is Earth Aleph, then this one would be Earth Bet. So, Earth Bet. So you can get really expensive, like, what they watch is they watch the prequel to Star Wars, and it still sucks. Which, you know, I agree with, but fuck Star Wars anyway. You know. So, Taylor is having fun with her new friends. Oh, hold on, I gotta sneeze real quick. Wait. No, I'm fine, actually. My eyes just watered up really bad, though. Yeah, I use the Hebrew alphabet, yeah. Aleph and Bet. So this Earth, the one that Taylor's on is Bet. So she's on the B side, alright? Got it? Everyone in this story's on the B side, or whatever. So, Taylor goes home and talks to her dad. Man, do they talk about stuff, and it's really sort of cool. She tells her dad about her friends. It dodges so many red flags, like, oh yeah, they're super villains, and, you know, they're scary people. There's more mentions of her getting bullied, and she, like, kind of drops it, like, a little just plainly, to not, like, freak out her dad. And her dad is, like, you know, a little worried. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there has been a lot of mentions of January. Or, like, Taylor brings up, like, whenever she's thinking about her bully, she thinks about, like, something that happened in January. She's been getting bullied since she got into high school. So, and she's been in high school for, like, a year and a half at this point. But something happened in January that she keeps mentioning. And we'll sort of see that play out in Act 4, which is the next act. But I just want you to keep that in mind, that she keeps referencing this thing that happened in January. So, little bit of tidbit that she hasn't really thought about completely, that you can just put in your little brain is like, I wonder what happened. But, you know, I think it's cool that they keep, like, referencing this thing that we don't know about, but she does, and she still feels bad about. So Taylor's like, all right, cool. So we'll see you later, Dad. I'm gonna go meet up with my friend Lisa. We're gonna get coffee and talk. And so Taylor goes out to meet Lisa. Turns out Taylor's not meeting Lisa, because she's lying. Taylor has a little dialogue about her dad and what her dad has been doing. If you don't remember, Danny Hebert over here has been he's the leader of the Dock Workers Association, which means that he's like a union leader. So, you know, he's not to be fucked with here. He knows the mayor and shit. And, of course, since he knows the mayor, he has a little pet project that he likes called the ferry. It would allow people to cross the bay in the ferry, and it would, quote-unquote, lead to greater prosperity to the docks area. So it got killed, basically, because the economy and the mayor kept shutting him down. It's not a thing anymore. However, Taylor's going there to have a meeting with not Lisa, but Armsmaster. Taylor's going to talk to Armsmaster in this next chapter, and Taylor is going to be very upset. And Armsmaster is also going to be very upset. So, Taylor meets Armsmaster, and she needs a favor. She's here to call in a favor. She's here to tell Armsmaster about everything of the Undersiders. This is their names, where they live. But there's one thing that she doesn't know. Their boss. So she can't tell Armsmaster yet. And Armsmaster has a lie detector in his helmet, by the way. So, you know, Armsmaster's already like, well, get to the fucking chase, because I know if you're lying to me. And she's like, okay. I don't know the boss. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you yet. But I have to promise you that, you know, there's something's gonna happen tomorrow, and I need you to promise that, you know, you won't get me. And he's like, you're asking me to cover you for a felony that you might commit? You're a stupid girl. And Armsmaster casually drops a line that there's 2 murderers in her group, which, holy shit, there's 2 murderers in your group? Holy fuck. Now Taylor has that on the brain and is now going to consider, until she finds out who they are, I assume, that there's 2 people on her team who have killed someone, which is scary. And Taylor's freaking out about that. So why is Armsmaster so angry at Taylor? Well, Taylor is not a fucking CIA agent. She is infiltrating this tiny group of friends, has no idea what she's doing, is doing crimes with these people, and Armsmaster is especially upset because this 15-year-old almost tanked his entire rep. Because she was too stupid and didn't tell Armsmaster that she had pumped Lung full of poison, and Lung almost died. And Taylor's like, bites back, and she's like, well, you gave him a tranquilizer, and that didn't let him heal. So basically they're mad at each other, and they're little pieces of shit. So Taylor's upset, Armsmaster's upset. They're both dick shits here. This dick measuring contest, I'm tired of it. They're both assholes. They're both assholes. God, but they're very mad at each other. They're very, very mad at each other. And Taylor, like, when she's leaving, kind of makes a vow to like tell Armsmaster who is doing this, like who the boss is later, and also is like, you know what? I'm not gonna tell Armsmaster. I'm gonna talk to someone named Miss Militia instead, because apparently Armsmaster sucks now. So yeah. Hi Ghost, welcome to Worm Party. We are currently on the next arc of Worm. This is Agitation 3.6 that we're getting into right now. So Taylor is now pissed off at Armsmaster. So guess what Taylor's gonna do with all of her friends? Rob a bank! She's gonna rob a bank! She's gonna rob a bank! So, Taylor and Lisa are just chilling in a van together. It's raining outside. It's pouring rain for this entire chapter. Oh shit! Thank you for the gift sub to Lynn! Lynn, you got a gift sub now. Welcome. I don't think Lynn's here, but... Rob a bank! Celebration for robbing a bank. Thank you. Thank you, Corn Mace. So, Taylor's chilling with Lisa in a van, hanging out, and is like, well, Lisa has this big speech. Now, this speech is what I would deem one of the most important to how Taylor will now act around everyone, and also how Lisa is sort of... Lisa is pretty manipulative in things that she does, because this entire time Lisa is like trying to convince Taylor that, like, well, here's how this all works. You know, it's like cops and robbers. Her entire point is that the most dangerous people out there, like, you know, the scare, like the big scary ones. They drop a few names that we're not gonna get into just yet, but the big scary people, we don't really talk about them too much. But cops don't fight those people. You know, that doesn't happen every day. There's not gonna be a big scary, like, world disaster event gonna happen every 2 minutes. So the fucked up people, the crazy people, you know, they're also kind of dangerous. But people like the Undersiders, Taylor, no, we're just, you know, we're not doing any harm. We might hurt a couple people, we might like rob a couple things or like rob a bank, but it's in the best interest of the city to, you know, keep us in circulation. We're not better or worse than the good guys, you know? We have more risk, but we get more reward. It's like basically trying to convince her, all right? It's kind of bananas. And she does have a point, because, you know, people that, like, supervillains that have gone out and, like, killed a bunch of people go to the birdcage. And we get another mention of the birdcage later in the chapter. But people like that go to the birdcage. But people like, you know, the Undersiders, if they get caught, they just go to jail and then they get broken out, you know? And it just sort of perpetuates that cycle, which definitely does have some merit. So this is the first mention of like the birdcage. We're gonna get into that in a second. We also hear a little bit about how capes treat secret identities, which is if anyone crosses that line of finding out someone's secret identity and goes after the family, the cape community themselves goes after the motherfucker. Heroes and villains will unite, will have a truce just to kill those motherfuckers. And Taylor does something here that Lisa gets upset about. She talks about the Endbringers again. She keeps mentioning the fucking Endbringers, and even Lisa is like shocked. She's like, "You're being fucking morbid right now." So we get mention of the Endbringers here. That's really good, Taylor. That Taylor has quote unquote the Endbringers on her fucking mind. Good job, Taylor. Please think about these scary men that we have no idea about. Please, Taylor. Please continue thinking. It's really helping me out. So Taylor also comments that she feels like she's walking on eggshells around Lisa because Lisa's very smart and she can deduce things very quickly. So if Taylor says something or does something that might like tip her off that she's not actually in it for the group, she's gonna get caught and she's gonna get scared. So yeah. I think that I wrote down a line here, and it sort of fits, where she says, "We were robbing a bank, and I was the only one who was guilty about it. Apparently, the only one who was worried about the safety of the bystanders." And Taylor goes on to think more about that 2 members of the Undersiders were murderers. She also thinks about that again. She is very nervous. She goes through everything. She's like, well, who could it be? Who could it be? What the fuck? Oh, God. So, yeah. So, Taylor is now indoctrinated. She's like, all right, let's rob a bank. She says that out loud. She's like, let's rob a bank. Jesus Christ, Taylor. So, here comes the bank robbing part. And I'll be honest, after this arc, I did not write down a lot. Solely because a lot of it was fight scenes. And we'll get there. So we immediately get to robbing a bank. They're breaking into the bank right now. Brian over here has a little demonstration of how he does like scare tactics with his helmet, where he has like little vents on the side of his helmet and he lets the darkness creep through to have like a scary skull coming at you, which is freaky and kind of ingenious, really cool. Taylor is still going by the moniker of Bug here. Everyone's referring to her as Bug. So great name, Taylor. Great name. Yeah, this is great. Great, amazing. Taylor is using a lot of bugs in this one. So much bugs, in fact, that she has filled the entire back of a van with bugs. Specifically, 350 cubic feet. 350 cubic feet of every kind of bug she could find in the city that she wanted. We get a couple more mentions of how everyone's getting ready. Regent, we get more mention of Regent's Taylor, taser, which is built into his little like staff with a crown on it. Great job, Regent. You get to tase people, amazing. And then we get some more information about Bitch here. Before they're like getting ready to break into the bank, we get a little mention of Bitch's dogs. Now, obviously, you know that Bitch can turn dogs into giant meat monsters that barely resemble dogs and have prehensile tails. The case of that so far is that it isn't instantaneous, like she just boop and now they're normal. It's a slow process, because if she does it too fast, it'll exhaust her. So, on the way there in the van, she started growing the dogs, and then as they got out, they kept growing. These aren't just like big dogs, by the way. They're very meaty and sloppy. It's described as like muscles and bone spurs. Just like the imagery of that is very slop-tastist, and Jesus Christ. Don't worry about the word that I just said, because I butchered it like a motherfucker. They're very sloppy dogs is the thing. They're very bony and meaty. you know. The slob dogs are cool though. So they break into the bank, they take a couple hostages, and by a couple hostages, I mean like a bunch of hostages. You find something in 40k that looks like those dogs? Well, yeah, you'd always talk about 40k. Goddamn. Taylor is very nervous about all of this. She's happy that she didn't find anyone in an office. She didn't have to like take them hostage and shit. She's like, oh god, I don't wanna. Oh. So here's the big kicker here. Here's the big kicker here about Taylor here. She has the role of threatening all of the hostages with spiders, and not just any spiders, with black widows. She puts a black widow on everyone and threatens them with death or a coma. Death more specifically. And she thinks immediately after that, I'm willing to terrorize them. For their safety, I'm willing to terrorize them. What? Taylor specifically says, at the end of the chapter, right before we get to the next one, she says, I was going to hell for this. Really, Taylor? Really? You think that maybe in this moment right now, robbing a bank with a bunch of dangerous poisonous spiders that could kill a grown man, on a bunch of teenagers and old women, that you're going to hell? Yeah, I think so. Taylor. So, you know, that's the current situation she's in. She's like, all right, cool. I'm just doing this now. She goes with bitch to go fill up a bunch of bags with money, as it is, and they hang the money bags on the dogs. Of course you would, because money is heavy as fuck. They have a little bit of a spat, bitch and Taylor. Taylor's just trying to make small talk, and bitch is like, fuck you. And so they're not very nice. So Regent immediately is like, we have a problem. And they look out of the windows of the bank, and they see that literally everyone is there. Aegis, Clockblocker, Vista, the three most powerful ones, already there. You also got Kidwin. You also got Gallant, alright? And you also got a newbie, Browbeat, who has like telekinesis and is super buff. He was an independent, just chilling around, hanging around. They actually tried to recruit him once. But now he's working with the wards. And there's one person on the roof that we don't know. But Lisa knows, and she's like, well, I seem to have made a gross misunderestimation. Oh, God. So Taylor's idea is, all right, guys, we're going to fight him face to face because you guys are like a hit and run crew. No, we're just going to fight him face to face to catch him off guard. And just before they do that, Lisa is immediately like, oh, wait, by the way, Aegis and Clockblocker switch costumes. So, you know, don't run at Aegis because that's not Aegis, that's Clockblocker. They would have been so fucked if Tattletale wasn't there. If they didn't know that they switched costumes, everyone would have fucking tried to beat the shit out of Aegis, and they would have just gotten frozen immediately. That is literally insane to me. Like, they would have been so fucked. Anyway, they have a big fight. Yeah, you guys did the same thing at the same time. She's carrying the team. Well, you know, is she the leader, would you say? I think so. So, I did not write a lot about this, because the fight scenes are really quick, they're really snappy, there's a bunch of new stuff, I can't explain it beat by beat, but there's a big fight in the rain, they all kind of fight each other. Taylor, though, we get a little bit of what Taylor is doing in a fight, because everyone else has already fought a cape before. Taylor has only ever fought, with Lung, and almost died doing that. So, what does Taylor do in this fight? Well, Clockblocker over here, I didn't forget about Kidwin. Clockblocker over here, has a little gap in his costume. So Taylor immediately fills it with bugs. And not only his costume, his nose, his mouth, his ears, and his eyes, until he stops fighting and freezes the bugs so that he is out for the count. Taylor, you're putting bugs in people's eyes, Taylor. Taylor, Taylor, please, Taylor. Taylor, this is only because she had the conversation with Armsmaster and was like, "Oh, I can't stab all these people that can't regenerate with a bunch of venom. I'm just going to nearly suffocate them and put bugs into their eyeballs. Yeah, that'll work." Taylor, what the fuck, Taylor? Taylor. So Taylor is pretty much just like observing the fight at this point. After she takes out Clock Blocker, a bunch of play-by-plays happen. The Undersiders are like, they're kind of matched with everyone. You know, people are kind of getting the upper hand. The fight is going like semi-well. Taylor has a really bad headache at this point. Her bugs are like being kind of loopy and not responding well. So Taylor is just like watching people fight, and then she gets clocked in the head by a fucking fire extinguisher. From a hostage that she just did not see behind her. So immediate danger. The bugs are not responding at all. This woman is here with a fucking fire extinguisher. The hostages are all running, and Taylor can see that the spiders are still on the people, but she's still reading the bugs as being in the lobby. So, very scary. This hostage that has now gotten up and has a fucking fire extinguisher is now texting. And Taylor's like, well, what the fuck? You can't fucking text, and knocks the phone out of her hands. And then she's like, oh, I wasn't making a phone call. I was texting. And then, turns out that person was Panacea. And the person that she texted was the person on the roof. And that person was Glory Girl. Do you guys remember Glory Girl from Arc 2 Interlude? Boy, do we. Very scary. Taylor's powers are not working at this moment. The only thing that Taylor can do is grab Panacea by the throat and threaten her with a knife by the throat. That is all she can do. Panacea is now threatening the fuck out of Taylor. If you remember in the Interlude 2, Panacea was threatening a Nazi with, I would say, way tamer stuff. You know, like, oh, erectile dysfunction, haha. Panacea here, Panacea here is just like, I'm gonna give you cancer. I'm gonna make you morbidly obese. I'm gonna make you stupidly fat. It's like, what? Holy shit, god damn! Taylor, you don't seem too nice here. In fact, you seem really, really, really in the negative here, Taylor. You're worse than a Nazi right now, Taylor. What the fuck, Taylor? This is how people are seeing you here, okay, Taylor? Goddamn. So, lo and behold, the only thing stopping Glory Girl from punching an entire hole in Taylor's torso is that Tattletale comes in the door and calls Glory Girl Glory Hole. And this is one of the best character interactions in this arc. No, I was joking, Nikki. Don't even fucking worry. She's not worse than a Nazi. I was being sarcastic in that moment. Do you see? Panacea thinks so. Not me. God damn. I would never. Why? Don't even assume that. Fuck the Nazis. I kill a Nazi. Everyone in Worm's problematic? Yeah. Yeah. We'll see that coming up just now because Glory Girl says a fucking slur. So Tattletale comes in, calls Glory Girl Glory Hole, which is way funny. Glory Hole. Yeah. And so Tattletale sort of, controls the situation by telling everyone that she's a psychic. And Glory Girl is like, well, that's bullshit. What the hell? What? That's not real. That would take way too much brain power. That's not real. And Tattletale's like, well, someone's fucking taking Parahumans 101 in college right now. You fucking dipshit. Yeah, everyone says the R slur. It's kind of fucked up. But these people are fucked up. This is 2011, before people had like common sense and realized that there's like worse things out there than their own self. So this is an era bygone. But if there's ever rewrites, I would like a little bit less. Just a little bit less. There's real slurs in here, and I'll let you know where they are. But yeah, Worm is very 2011. Yes. It's good though. These people are fucking rude and stupid. So, Tattletale, yeah, I'll let you know when those are, but there's an entire, like, Nazi gang in here, and you do have an interlude from one of the perspectives, and they do say real slurs. They're not used a lot, but they are used. Yeah. I think, Mist, I think there's a couple. I'm not sure, though. I need to check. I'm going to be vetting the future chapters. I know that there's a couple that have these, so I'm gonna let you know when that's a thing. Because this story foregoes trigger warnings and the fact that, like, you're okay with that, but I'm not okay with that in broadcasting that and being like, look how cool this is, you know? So I'm gonna be vetting this, don't worry. It's all good. The story, though, that's happening right now, basically Tattletale is just chilling here on a desk and is just like, well, hi, guess what? I'm mean and I'm a bitch. Yeah! Because Tattletale's sassy as fuck. So Tattletale gets a little laser pointer and is now laser pointering areas of Panacea's body, which she is now... she's pointing at little spiders that Taylor has left on her. And Taylor is killing those spiders because that's what's been blocking her power. It's like a weird kind of feedback loop that's been going into her head and giving her a fucking headache. So, you know, powers aren't just like a magical force. They actually will give you a fucking headache. That's great. That's good. So, Tattletale sort of, like, makes threats and is like, yeah, I'm psychic. And Glory Girl is like, no, you're not. That's impossible. And Tattletale's like, yeah, well, you got people shooting lasers. You got people making spikes and stuff out of walls. Like, what? I can't peek into your brain? Huh? Huh? And she makes an analogy here about an actual... We actually get a name drop for an Imbringer, which is kind of scary. Because there is an Imbringer out there. An Inbringer. We don't know anything about these. But there's one out there that can use telepathy and read minds, apparently. If what she's saying is true.
Simmerg.
So, the Simmerg. The Simmerg is terrifying name. The Simmerg. Okay. It could just read minds and stuff? That's great. That's great. That's very scary. Jesus Christ. And it scares... That scares people more than anything else. Because Tattletale can think really well. The Inbringers have so much notoriety that they scare the fuck out of people. Yeah, that's not good. So, Glory Girl calls Tattletale the R slur. So Glory Girl's fucked up. Great hero over here. We've already seen that in the interlude too. She's not very cool. And now Tattletale is pissed because she says, don't call me stupid. And now Tattletale is upset. So now Tattletale is going to employ something called the offensive. So now Tattletale is now bringing up information she knows about these people. For instance, the number one thing she uses here is that she mentions that Panacea was adopted into this superhero family called New Wave, which is what she's in right now along with Glory Girl. That's why they're just like out here with their identities. Everyone knows that she was adopted. However, Tattletale has some pertinent information and implies that she knows who Panacea's real father is and is going, like, psychologically breaking this woman down. It gets very heated and very escalated immediately. So they get pissed. There's a bunch of stuff that happens, and now Tattletale and Taylor are about to get fucking beat the shit out of, and Glory Girl has some passing comments about the birdcage, and this time we do get some serious mentions of the birdcage, and what it is specifically. The birdcage. The birdcage. The way that she describes the birdcage is terrifying. Glory Girl promises that they're going to get sent there. It is described as a prison with no wardens, no communication with the outside world, no escapees, and it houses every single worst and most powerful villain they've ever been able to capture in there. And they don't even know if anyone is alive in there. It's just a bucket where they dump scum like her. So that's great. That's great. That's really good. That's really good that she's making this threat. So Tattletale immediately goes, okay, swarm with bugs, please. And so Taylor does that. And, you know, obviously, Glory Girl is invincible. Except, Tattletale goes, no, you're not invincible. And shoots Glory Girl, which, she is invincible, did not actually shoot her. It broke her shield that she likes to say is invincible. However, it is a shield with a very, very quick cooldown, basically. So she has a force field around her that, whenever it's broken, it goes back very quickly. Yes, Lisa just carries a gun. Yes, that's true. And so Glory Girl basically just gets swarms with bugs. That's great. And Taylor is just very happy that no one got hurt or killed, and they all get away, and everyone's fine. No one got injured. No hostages got hurt. There was just some structural damage. Glory Girl got swarmed by bugs. That's about it. So everything's good. Everything's great. Taylor's like, yeah, we're just normal, and everything's fine. The end. God damn. God damn. Yeah, Tattletale is the only member of the team that actually does carry a gun around. She's the only one. And that's because her powers are all just like the brain stuff. She has nothing else. So, yeah. 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 So that's Arc 3. That took a while to explain. That took me like an hour. Jeez Louise. But I think I got all the good bits. Was there anything I missed that you guys really, really enjoyed? Anything I missed that you guys loved? Anything I missed that you guys were like, hey? Or anything that like happened that I didn't point out and you're like, damn. What does Brian fight with? His fists and power, I'm pretty sure. He doesn't have a gun or anything. He just like, he just punches people. He like, if there's an arc where, there's a chapter where like he teaches Taylor how to punch and stuff, and that's just kind of what he does in battle. So he uses the darkness like to his own thing. You love the Angelica moment? Oh yes, Angelica is one of Bitch's dogs. Yes. Yeah, Taylor never calls them their names. Yeah, why would you? Yeah. It's because Taylor is now separating like the villains from the people, and she's like, oh yeah, Tattletale, not Lisa. Yeah, he knows a bunch of like Krav Maga and like, you know, stuff like that, but he doesn't ever like train anything specific. He's like a well-rounded guy. Bunch of skill, not experienced. Yeah. What Angelica moment do you mean specifically? Like the way that like the big ass scary dogs look at people? Because man, that's scary. I can't imagine a giant dog staring at someone. So, I would get into the interlude, but I'm gonna be honest, I totally forgot the interlude. I totally forgot to mention the interlude. So I don't have it right now. I totally forgot. So I do apologize. Did you guys read the interlude? Do you guys want to carry this for me? Oh yeah, the interlude is the wards. So I'm gonna go like scroll through this and see what I remember from this. Oh yeah. The little small talk they had. Yeah, they tried to do some small talk, and then like Rachel like got really mad because she implied that that Rachel had hurt her dogs, and she's very pissed. Yeah, the interlude is a very good one. The interlude is from the perspective of the wards, specifically like just like Aegis pretty much, but like it goes to everyone. Basically it's a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff. I really like this one. They do name Taylor though. They give her a fucking name in this one. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess what name they give her? They go through 5 different iterations. Maggot, worm, winky face, stinger, pestilence. No, they go with Skitter. That's her villain name. The superheroes have now given her the name Skitter. That is a name. I mean, it's not awful, but you know. Also, yes, Gallant can see emotions. That's his entire thing. Yeah. I don't have anything else to talk about this interlude because I didn't read it. I totally forgot. We basically just like get a bunch of stuff about the wards. We get a bunch of information about the wards. Yeah, they take Kidwin's cannon. He used a cannon called the Alternator Canyon, Alternator Canyon, or whatever the hell, and he didn't actually submit the correct paperwork, so he got that taken away very quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys know right now that Pigo's name is pronounced Pigo, not Pigott, which is it's not Pigott. I need to let everyone know that it's Pigo. Just so you know. Because I pronounced it as Pigott for a while, and then I realized, oh no, it's Pigo. Yeah. So that's Arc 3. Do you guys have any comments? Anything you'd like to talk about here? Anything you want to mention that you mentioned in the Worm channel that I didn't pick up? Because I tried to add some stuff, but I gave up halfway because you guys said a lot of stuff. Any recurring themes that you're sort of noticing? Any sort of things you're looking forward to? Because, you know, I want to know. I want to know. I'll turn this back on because we're done talking about pretty much the entire thing. You talked a lot? Yeah, I didn't get to read much through it. I was a little bit busy with stuff this week, and I will continue to be busy with stuff this week. Taylor is really clueless. I don't think she's clueless. I think it's the opposite. I think she pretends that she knows a lot. And she then uses that confidence of like, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. In reality, she does not know what she's doing. You know. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, she's naive, but is really good at her niche. Yeah. You love next arc? Yes, the next arc is Arc 4. And if I'm not mistaken, that has the same amount of chapters as this one. And the next arc, holy shit. Guys, if you thought that Arc 3 was escalating, you are not fucking ready for Arc 4. Arc 4 is fucking insane. Fucking bananas. Like, if you guys were like, oh, I liked the little bit of fighting that they had. It was cool. They had like a bunch of stuff that happened. No. Arc 4 is one of my favorites. I think Arc 4 is one of my favorite arcs in the entirety of Worm. And I will 100% be discussing this with you guys. Yeah, this much happens so early on. I know, it's a lot that happens. We're already on Arc 3 out of 30 arcs! Taylor acts like a high school kid who acts like they've got it figured out. That's literally what Taylor is. She's confident in what she's doing because she's like, well, this is what I'm going to do about this. And like, she thinks that she's right, but she isn't. Ah! So the next arc is going to be fucking insane. Do you guys have any predictions for the next arc? Do you guys have anything you're looking forward to the next arc? Any characters you want to see that have some kind of developments? Any characters that you want to see mentioned more, perhaps? Much as you hate school, you'd like to see more of it, to see how Taylor acts and thinks as she spends more time as an undersider. Taylor talks about school in Arc 4. And Arc 5 is when there's more school stuff, particularly. When talking about, like, triggering stuff, didn't you say Arc 4 is when stuff happens that makes the bullying get toned down? Yes, Arc 5 is sort of... let me look through real quick. Hold on. I have a list here of stuff. Let's see. Yes, after... There's one chapter in Arc 5. There's one chapter in Arc 5 that I would say is... everyone that's read it, and if this is Arc 5 Chapter 4, and Chapter 3 also has a little bit of something, but it's not that big. But Arc 4, Arc 5 Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 are ones that I don't know if if you've ever had an experience bullying or talking to any kind of like, you know, like authority with bullying, and it makes you really like, you know, really upset. I don't recommend you read it. I have had a lot of my friends over the time kind of read that part, and they say that's the one that like hit the hardest for them in like relatability. So if you can't handle it, I sincerely recommend you just wait for me to explain it. I personally think it's one of the highlights of like how Taylor's psyche is. But that's just because I love confrontational shit. I personally recommend that if you can't handle it, you shouldn't read it. But it's very good. It's really, really, really good. It pisses you off, but that's why I like it so much, because it pisses me off. So I recommend skipping that one, but we'll get there when we get there. You guys don't got to worry about Arc 4. There is, let me see. Arc 4 Chapter 1 has some bullying. It does get toned down. There's not a lot more after that. Arc 5 only has a little bit of smidgen and everything else. So yeah, everything else I'll let you know, because you know I am reading this for like the third time, and you'd think that I'd know a lot more, but you know, I'm not the best. In other news,
Meine Mama hat mir einfach erlaubt, dass ich Cola trinken darf. Wie cool ist das bitte? Jetzt zocke ich Fortnite und trinke Cola. Yippie!
sorry, I just needed to play that. I said Fortnite. I said Cola. Yippee! I think we needed an upper for that. Yeah, I miss. There is a chapter that I consider to be that the chapter I keep recommending, that I keep looking at is Arc 5 Chapter 4, and we'll get there when we get there. But whenever we get to next Worm Wednesday and we talk about Arc 4, I will mention it 100%. I'll let you know about it. I have to read 2 arcs every single Worm Wednesday. I have to read the one we're going to discuss and the one after it to make sure I can talk about it considerably. And then I have to read it a second time. I have to read I have to read Worm twice, basically. Yeah, when I get to the later arcs explaining these streams will go on for 3 hours. Like 3 hours of me explaining. I'm not even joking. Because some of them are... I'll let you know right now. There are some arcs where there's like 6 chapters. Like Arc 9 is only 6 chapters, but it is like, it is thick with information. Why'd you get name in particular? Because you mentioned you want to deck high schoolers. And that's the kind of stuff that I definitely want to deck some fucking high schoolers after reading that chapter. So I'll let you guys know. So I think that's gonna be it for this stream. It was relatively short, but I did get through that entire chapter, and you guys sort of like explained your ideas about it. There's not a lot here. I think as we get deeper into Worm, there's gonna be way more stuff we can talk about. Way more stuff that I have to stop redacting because I've read this so many times that I just casually say spoilers sometimes, so I have to like rein that back a little bit. It's only 10 minutes shorter than my Arc 2 stream. Well, hey, so thank you guys for coming. I'm glad that we have this little dedicated group to talk about Worm, you know. But so you guys can jump on Arc 4 now, which I consider to be one of the best. I seriously consider Arc 4 to be one of the best ones. It's quite amazing. I didn't know you're allergic to spiders and worm. Fuck you. No joke. Anyway, my friend Socks. Do you guys know my friend Socks? I think you do. My friend Socks is playing Sonic Golf, which is kind of stupid, but hearing Socks scream about it is way cooler, so... I'll send you guys over that way, okay? Okay. Thank you guys for coming. That's it for Worm. Yeah, Snolf is still going. Socks is trying to beat the entire game. Like, literally, you're gonna join and you're just gonna hear... That's what Socks does all day. Like, that's Socks. That's the inside of Socks' brain. Okay, I'll see you guys. I'm gonna hit the raid button now. Alright. I'm gonna use this, go to this screen now. You ready? Wait, hold on. Here we go.
I didn't
No, not that one!